What is the Corporate Equity Index, or CEI? It is a score managed by the Human Rights Campaign, or the largest LGBTQ political lobbying group in the world. Executives at companies like Nike, Budweiser, and Kate Spade feel compelled to give influencers like Dylan Mulvaney endorsement deals or risk failing the important social credit score measured by CEI. George Soros has given millions of dollars to the Human Rights Campaign. They issue report cards for how well companies adhere to the guidelines set forth by Corporate Equity Index. More than 840 companies from America have what is considered a high CEI score, according to the latest report. There are 5 different criteria that make up the 100-point score. Number 1, workforce protections with a possible 5 points. No discrimination for employment for sexual orientation or gender identity. Number 2, inclusive benefits with 50 points at stake. The criteria here is providing healthcare for same-sex couples. Number 3, supporting an inclusive culture for a top score of 25 points, including gender-neutral dress codes and trans-inclusive restroom or facilities. Number 4, corporate social responsibility. 20 possible points. Marketing or advertising to LGBTQ consumers, which would include Nike and Budweiser's use of a transgender spokesperson. Number 5, responsible citizenship. You can only lose in this category. Minus 25 points if your company gives money to organizations whose primary mission includes advocacy against LGBTQ equality, which is not defined but could include Christian groups. A company can lose CDI points if it doesn't have integration of intersectionality in professional development, skills-based or other training, or if it doesn't use a supplier diversity program with demonstrated effort to include certified LGBTQ+ suppliers. Reportedly, HRC sends out representatives to major corporations every year, telling them how they can keep or improve their CEI score. CEI is a lesser-known part of the ESG, or environmental, social, and corporate governance. The ethical investment movement. ESG funds invest in corporations that are against fossil fuels, pro-union, and have a preference for racial and gender equity hiring over merit-based hiring. As a result of these ESG goals, American CEOs seem more concerned with making sure companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street are pleased more than anyone else. These companies sponsoring Dylan Mulvaney have sparked outrage among conservative commentators. However, it seems corporate America is more concerned with keeping the ESG gatekeepers pleased. In 2018, Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, wrote a letter to CEOs titled Sense of Purpose, where he pushed for a new governance model in line with ESG values. In the letter, he says that if a company doesn't engage with the community and have a sense of purpose, it will ultimately lose the license to operate from key stakeholders. In December 2022, the state of Florida pulled $2 billion worth of assets from BlackRock. Governor Ron DeSantis said that he thinks it is undemocratic for major asset managers to use their power to influence societal outcomes. Larry Fink has denied that ESG is political. However, staff that manage the ESG operations have worked for Obama and donated to Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden's first veto rejected a Republican-led bill that wanted to block ESG-type investing, especially in pension funds where funds could be sacrificed to a left-wing agenda. Proponents of ESG and CEI say that adhering to socially conscious values when investing and managing companies will make the world a better place. However, not everyone seems to agree with this sentiment. Critics of ESG and CEI say that it introduces an incentive structure outside of the bounds of business, often in ways contradictory to fiduciary duty. When companies go woke and it creates backlash, it is ultimately the shareholders of these companies that will go broke.